Hey, recap Asia, London, bit of New York. First thing I wanted to clarify with my trading is anyone that trades ICT will notice that I have my sell side instead of buy side, and of course, buy side instead of sell side. I've just switched them around to make it easier for me self. I kind of keep it simple as in support and resistance. You want to sell up here, you want to buy down here. That's the first note. When I went to this Asia, strong expansion in New York, I was mostly bullish. Possibly could have been some sort of reprice down, but nothing as price opened gave me that kind of idea. Um, it was quite a choppy Asia session. There was not much that really happened. No real good bullish setups, no real good bearish setups. The only note that I liked was a bit after the 9 p.m. macro. Really nice short that happened a bit after 10 o'clock. Really nice delivery. Could have targeted this low inside of fair value gap, that 5-minute fair value gap low. Just had a really nice inverse fair value gap set up. You're in a premium of the range. If you consider this whole kind of up leg here, good inverse fair value gap set up after 11 o'clock in this case. Not really any macro in it, but then again, inverse fair value gap. You broke the 20 SMA. And had a really good movement down, but in terms of this Asia was very choppy. It was more bullish. Didn't really get anything. Same time, you didn't even get any bearish setups here, and until after 11 o'clock New York time did anything really happen. So as price plays off, I took a 2 a.m. trade today. With this note here, I kind of saw a possibility for bearish price action. Price came into the 2 a.m. macro. You were very bearish already, or order flow was bearish to some extent. And price came up into this hourly fair value gap. I was looking for possibly a continuation down into 4-hour fair value gap, some sort of reprice down to hit higher time fair value gap before, of course, the continuation higher. That was my intention, so I saw pretty much price came up into 2 a.m. You had the 2 a.m. macro, and you had this little manipulation move up and another move back down. And of course, and I essentially took a entry here, looked for the short, pretty much put my stop up here, and I was targeting that low instead of the fair value gap. Gave me 1.3 R&R. Not the terriblest trade. I think looking back, going against trend, you're already a bit more low probability. I don't think it was the worst trade that I've ever taken, but at the same time, kind of needed to recognize that it wasn't the highest probability trade, but price action delivered. You got to move under your 20 SMA on the 5-minute, so it was a good move. I just did not work in this case, and that's probably because order flow was mostly bullish on the highest time frame. So going into a London session, probably would have still been more. Honestly, I go into London here. I think I'm more bullish. I would have rather waited for this inverse fair value gap on the hourly before looking for any long setups. Even though I was more bullish, you had a bit of manipulation during the 3 a.m. macro, but there was no real good price delivery in the 5-minute for higher prices. 4 a.m. macro didn't do much. Only thing I like here is this delivery, but the fair value gap here is very small, and you're still below the 20 SMA. And according to what I wanted before here, you did see this, did see my original setup play out. It kind of does look a bit frustrating to me at the time here. Of course, its original setup has essentially worked. Essentially, it pretty much ticked me out for a stop, and then eventually, with London, price decided to trickle down, and it did hit the 4-hour fair value gap, which set up a really, essentially, a strong long. So yeah, so clearly London was just another more kind of manipulation move down for some sort of higher prices, and as we know, as I believe you saw in my chart, we saw this strong expansion after 5 AM macro, where we took the low inside of 4-hour fair value gap, and that's essentially where price decided to make its move higher. So yeah, London, essentially my idea pretty much worked out. Never got an entry, or essentially I got stopped out of my entry before I went lower. Does kind of show how my reading of price action and essentially looking for these low-hanging fruits kind of does play off, but on a day like this where price action was just choppy, it just stopped me out before making a slow move down, before expanding quite strongly higher. Probably the 1 minute would have given you a nice little setup here. For longs, essentially price action wasn't the greatest, but that's what you need to expect when you're trading early in the morning. So going into New York, yes, seeing this strong expansion higher, I'd probably wait for probably wait for market open, possibly another move lower, another move higher. Excuse me, I'd probably wait for a move into higher time fair value, maybe here, before price decides to make this move up into these relative equal highs. That's clearly the draw overall for the week. But that's essentially the setup that I'd be looking for. So yeah,